Let's see, anything else I can do right now? Well, I guess I should go pop over to where Sir Hossala lives, near the Eastern Palace. Maybe he'll have a good tool for us. Let's see. Speaking of which, let's take a look at our map here. The final treasures in all the palaces have been randomized too. You can see that the Eastern Palace now has the blue pendant. Over here, the Desert Palace now has crystal number 5, which is red now. And crystal number 1 is at the Tower of Hera. So crystal number 5 is red because with crystal number 5 and crystal number 6, you can get the super bomb to get the final fairy fountain at the pyramid later in the game. So you only need the red crystals in order to get that. And when you look at your menu screen, you can see the pendants and the crystals at the same time. You can easily check to see if you have the red ones or not. So that's pretty nice. Oh, you know what? I could. You know what? Yeah, I just thought of something that I can do if this doesn't end up working out. We have the flippers, which means we can swim, which means we can get to some places we normally wouldn't be able to. But first, we need to do this. Let's talk to him in the meantime. Want something for free? Go earn the green pendant in Misery Mire, and I'll give you something. Yeah. So it's a little hint as to where you need to go in order to get what would normally be the Pegasus boots from him. Hammer, Titansmith, no, not Titansmith, just the Power Glove, and some money. Alright, that's good. That's pretty good, actually. And the hammer's not going to be useful right away, but if we get the Moon Pearl early, that'll let us get some pretty good stuff in the Dark World. So now what I want to do is I want to loop back over to the north side where we just were. I'm going to use the Titansmith to get over to Zora's domain and buy the flippers and check out all the other stuff that you can find along the way. Now note, you don't need the Power Glove to get there. If you have the flippers, like I just did, and this is what I was thinking of earlier, if you have the flippers, you can find one of the whirlpools in the water that will warp you over to where it is. And that's one thing that I had to do once in an old randomizer version, where I had to use the warps to get over to there because the Power Glove was actually over there. That was something I racked my brain over for a pretty long time there. If I knew exactly where the whirlpool was, it would probably be faster to do that than to take this route, but I'm going for consistency over risk-taking right now. No way to get through those rocks, so I'm just going to have to jump it. Let's see. I'd like to at least get to one dungeon before I stop recording. I don't need those arrows. Okay, yeah, that's the portal whirlpool that I was talking about. Alright. Here's another update that they made. The fairy fountains now just give you 2 chests instead of being usable. To make up for the 2 items you'd normally get. In this case, it would be the level 2 shield and the magical boomerang. This time it's just trash, but that's good. It's good that I get a bunch of rupees there because we're about to spend 500 of them. So let's take a look over here. Ooh, the mirror. Definitely take that. We need to go grab that real quick, but before we can do that, we need to loop around here and buy what's... I don't think the buyable item from King Zora here has ever been good for me. So, we'll see. He just goes through the dialogue automatically and you lose your money immediately. Yep. So we just lost 480 rupees. Lovely. Alright, let's go here. And grab the magic mirror. And then where do I want to go? Yeah. I think I'm going to save and quit again and head back to my house. Actually, I forgot to grab something in the south area. But actually, that's good. I can demonstrate a glitch that is usable with the magic mirror in the Japanese version of the game, which is the one that the randomizer is based on. So we're gonna go over here to the little palace in the center of the swamp here. It's not much of a swamp, but, you know, it's still called the Swamp Palace in the Dark World. So, when you're pushing around blocks, you can use your item that you have, and it can go through them in this version. It's a little weird glitch that we have. So, in the case of the magic mirror, if you try to use it while pushing a block, it just goes away. Which is pretty fun, to be honest. Alright, let's drain this and grab the item that's outside. The magic mirror's ability to destroy blocks is useful in a few areas, but this is one of them, just so you can get the treasure and the treasure outside in just one run. Just ends up being 300 though. Alright. Let's see. So even though we have the mirror and the hammer, we can't really do anything in the Dark World without the Moon Pearl, because with our bunny rabbit form, we can't really go anywhere. We're not able to use our items to escape the areas that we'd get locked into. So let's swim over here. I'm going to swim up here to the homeless man's bottle. Grab that real quick while I got a chance. And then I gotta think of what else I can do with my current abilities. Oh, I just thought of something I can do. Now that I have the magic powder and the hammer, we can go get cursed. What do you mean that doesn't sound good? Let's talk to this guy. Ugh. Okay. Let's save and quit back over to the sanctuary. Yeah, I end up doing this a lot, at least until I get the flute, which I find a little more convenient. Oh, give me my 2 hearts. Thank you. Let's see. What do we have right now again? Right. Let me put the hammer on the slot right now. It's a pretty powerful weapon if you don't mind the really short range of it. I don't often use it for combat, but in a pinch, it's good. A pinch being maybe you have it and you only have the normal level 1 sword. That can be a pretty annoying pinch. Let's put it that way. There's nothing in that grass that I just walked past. I don't know why there's a hammer post there. Anyway, let's take this path here. So we want to take this north cavern here and get our magic powder out and use it. Let's see what we get. The curse is now randomized, which means that you can find half magic anywhere in the game. In this case, we get a lamp. Excellent. That means we can go up Death Mountain now. And we could go do the 3rd dungeon. I think we have everything we need. Yeah, the lamp is... that's all. That's all we need. And, you know... you can use either the magic mirror or the hammer to get to the dungeon. But, we have both, so I can take the easy way. Plus there's treasure. Lots and lots of treasure. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and climb up to the Tower of Hera, and we'll probably do the dungeon real quick and then end off the recording there. That's probably a good plan. You gotta work with what you have. So, yeah. Like I said before, you need the lamp to see in dark places, even in the light world. And this cave is a dark place, so if you don't have the lamp, it's very, very difficult to get through here. Possible, but the game won't require that of you unless you click a certain setting in the randomizer. Which I don't. I find that it's easier to work with the limitations of the game rather than my own limitations. So this man's not going to bother us with his stories in this version. And one thing the sword beam is good for is dispatching those losers. So he gave us an extra 10 arrows to our capacity. So trying to avoid getting rolled over by boulders, but it doesn't always work out. Probably expected to eat a couple of hits here and there from those guys. There's a glitch that I think that lets you climb that really quickly, but I don't know it off the top of my head. So what I want to do here is I want to jump down this ledge and go into this cave. If we follow the path up, we'll be able to get an item. We could have checked what that item was beforehand. Maybe that would be more efficient for a speedrun, but yeah. It's just some rupees. We're getting to the point where we don't need too many rupees anymore. The most useful thing it'll be used for in the future is getting potions to heal with. And also entering the Palace of Darkness. But that's just 110 rupees. It's no big deal. You could also technically use the rupees to improve your capacities at the big fairy fountain in the middle of Lake Hylia, but it only increases it by 1 instead of 5, because you can find the upgrades otherwise, so it's not really worth it, only if you're like a super duper anal person, which I'm not, at least not in this context. Let's get the mirror handy. Looks like another 10 arrows over there. That'll fit nicely with the 10 arrow upgrade we just got. Let's see what these guys have to say. I don't often come to them as a bunny. I wrote a word, just one, on a stone, threw it into the ocean. It was my word. It was what would save me. Hope someday someone finds that word and brings it to me. The word is the beginning of my song. Okay. What about you? Garlic, ginger, apple, and cook for 2 minutes. Add carrots, potatoes, garam masala, and curry powder, and stir well. Add tomato paste. Stir well, and slowly add red wine and bring to a boil. Add sugar, soy sauce, and water. Stir and bring to a boil again. Oh. Maybe they're just there to be like hazards for people who speedrun the game because they don't want to talk to them. As a note, we could use the Book of Medora over there to get a medallion if we had it because we have the Master Sword, but we don't. Alright, let's do a dungeon. You'll notice that it has the Dark World dungeon music, and that's because there's a crystal in here, not a pendant. So that's a way you can easily tell, without looking at the map, what you might expect to find here. So what I want to do here is just want to grab this compass and reset the crystal switches. Because we don't have any form of ranged combat without our sword beam, I'm going to be forced to use bombs to hit these crystal switches. So hopefully I don't run out. Key in there. That key is useful for this door. And we'll probably find the big key down here that we're going to need to progress. So now we got to deal with these tiles. The best way to do that, hold out your sword, let it stab, and keep on doing that for a while. It'd be easier if we could hide in a door around here, but we can't, because the only door in here is a stairwell. And the other one is closed. Dang it. The delay from the spin attack kept me from putting it out there. That's okay. What's weird about environmental damage like that is that it doesn't get affected by blue mail or red mail for whatever reason. So even if you could get up to Death Mountain without the lamp, which is possible if you maybe got the flute, you'd still need the lamp to light these torches here to get the chest. And of course, we can use our magic mirror to warp back to the start of the dungeon for a little quicker trip. Now let's do that. I should probably make sure to get off the mirror so that I don't use it by accident. we gotta kill these guys to open the door. That's right. I remember. This dungeon's not very hard. It's pretty vanilla. You, like, don't need any real tools except the lamp and a way to fight. Which you obviously will probably have at some point. This is just the way I like going through it. Now, if you had the hook shot, you could take a shortcut with the big chest over there, but I don't. Ooh, extra bomb. Here, ice rod. That'll be useful for one boss. Alright, so let's go up here. We're going to want to clear out the dungeon completely, so let's do that. Hit that switch and fall down this hole exactly, so we can get to the big chest, which has a shovel. That might be useful. I'm gonna, just for safeties, I'm gonna go back and hit the switch, the crystal switch, so we have access to the healing in the second to last floor. The boss of this area can be a little annoying if you don't have a good stack of health. Well, there's a little bit. Might be a little more in these. I don't need that money. Alright. There we go. So all of these jars have hearts in them. Every single one. But they don't respawn, so be careful. That guy's annoying and I hate him. There we go. Alright, so we're ready to go. So the Moldorm here, I think that's what he's called. He likes to bounce you around and be a pain in the butt. Spin attacks will do more damage. And the Master Sword does more damage as well, so hopefully it won't be as annoying as it otherwise might be. Alright, yeah. We managed to get it pretty easily there. So let's see, he drops map, as is predicted in the texts. So that's one dungeon down, 9 to go, right? 7 plus 3? Yeah. We don't have to do all the dungeons as long as we get all the crystals, but I'm gonna do all the dungeons anyway for completion's sake. So I think that about wraps it up. I might split this episode into 2 parts later in editing, but for now, I'm just gonna leave it here so that we can go explore more of Death Mountain and use our new tools that we've obtained to gather a whole bunch of cool treasure. What dungeon will we do next? Not even I know. So thank you all for watching so very much. I'm Oxbrit, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all later!